Okay, so today I'm going to be showing you how to build one of these. This is an air graver. Okay. Now I wanted to get this as a hobby. I wanted to kind of get this, play around with it, but even to get started in air graving and engraving is seriously some money. So like $1,000 just to get started, and that's on the really low end. I have this really wonderful gift that allows me to build things, and I decided I wanted to build something that was inexpensive, that you can go to your local hardware store and put it together. And works, and I wouldn't say it works the same way because I never played with a professional gun, but I will say this does make some serious cuts in copper. There's no doubt about it. It's really fun to use too. So I will kind of demo it, just so it takes some serious deep cuts. This thing is cutting into it about, I want to say, about 1/16 of an inch into this copper. And zinc, it just destroys. So I got a block of zinc. Nice. So, if you would like to build this wonderful tool, we will begin. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to modify this 1/4 inch air quick connect so it fits the engraver. Okay? So first off, you're going to need a drill press, and you're going to need a 1/4 inch bit. When it gets near the bottom, it's best to like back it off a little bit, go back in slow, and back it off real slow, back it off. Just at the point it spins, that's where you let go. Now, I do not have a vise that fits this thing, nor can I find one, so I use some sketchy ways to do this. So be careful when you do this. I use a wrench. Just like that. Okay, after you do that, you're going to take a file, because it's actually got a little bit of a brim. You see it? Like on the inside there? And you're going to take a chainsaw file. Now, a chainsaw file is made to go both ways in and out. And it's fine enough. They're great files, really. And that takes out that out of the equation. Cool. So that was step one. Okay, step two. You can see that there's this little tiny slide that goes into the tool. See it? Okay, so what we want to do is carve out that slide. Now there's a few different ways you could do that. Depends on your dexterity. I want to make sure I go straight on this. Again, it's just helpful for later on. So I want to be able to carve that out. There's these little saws that X-Acto makes. They're really good if you have patience. And you get just started, and you can just cut down and cut across. And you do that for the other side too. Again, I'm kind of eyeballing this on the camera, so. Okay, get that started. So you can see how I did that. Now, if you don't have this magical saw from X-Acto, you can actually use a Dremel. And that's how I did the first one. You'll want to get this bit here. And I'll probably end up cleaning this up now. That was just the safe way to do it. The one on the back I'm going to just shave off. Now it's just a matter of fact to put in that bit and make sure that it glides up and down onto that thing right there. Okay, so you can see it's too big, so I got a little bit more to carve down on it. Nice and slow. Now if you get to this stage and you just don't trust yourself, you can always use a file too. So that's another option that you can take, is one of those really nice files and file it off. Or sandpaper. And I do not have a file, so I'm going to just use this thing. Perfect. Now you want it to actually touch the bottom of this. Right now it's like a 1/16 of an inch, and you can see that on camera here. So you notice it's got a gap. You want to close that gap up. So you'll cut it right there. If if you have a pair of flush cuts, these are amazing to do this. So it should sit exactly like this. Now, you'll end up drilling a hole right here for air, because what happens is the hammer goes up, it needs to explode air out. So we need a very small hole right there at the base. Back to the drill press. Okay, this is a 3/32 drill bit in metric. It's 2.33 millimeters. Okay, now it can be a little bit bigger than this. It doesn't have to be very exact. I've noticed I've made a couple of these and they didn't really matter much. So what I'm going to do though is I want to put that hole right at the base of this, as close to the base as I can, because if you go like this, where that little area right there, see that area that tapers down? That's where you want the hole, in my humble opinion. Works out really well if it's right there. Okay, sweet. So I'm gonna change this drill press over and drill a hole. There you go. Now these things are so cheap, you could experiment with multiple holes, like 4. I've tried 2, it works out pretty good. I just like the 1, so I'm just going to go with the 1. Again, keep it simple. So you can kind of see right where you can see the tapered end right there. Alright. Okay, so now you're going to need piece of pipe. I think this is 2-inch. Yep, 2-inch by 1/4. So it comes out to be the 1/2 inch, but it's 1/4 inch thread. Yeah, it's an American thing. Okay. Sweet. You're going to need 1/4 inch thread to 3/16 barb. You're going to need a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch 90-degree angle. This is a dowel pin. Okay? This dowel pin. So if you look these up, they're called dowel pins. It's a 3/8 inch dowel pin. Again, in metric, that's 9.5 or 0.37 of an inch. And it's 1.5 inches long. Or roughly 38 millimeters. These things are heavy. I think it's stainless, so it weighs a lot, which accounts for the heavy hitting of this thing. Okay, the spring is a 3/8 spring. Spring. And decompressed 1 9/32, 32 millimeters. Okay. If you're looking for the dowel pin, I did take a picture of the bin that I got it out of. Okay, metal dowel pins. 3/8 by 1. That's what they're called. That's how big they are. I got the 1.5. That's the heavy hitter. So you could try the 1 out too. Alright, so basically it goes like this. 2-inch goes in there. Spring goes down in there. Dowel pin goes down in there. This gets screwed into there. And this piece is what you get on eBay. These are GRS tool holders. I'll put a link below to this one. They're about $6. In a pinch, RotoZip put out one of these little buggers. Okay, so you might still find these in your hardware store in America. They're RotoZip collars. RotoZip collar. And they also fit down in there. The bad thing is you won't have that bump. But these are just so inexpensive, you know, you could just, let's just say while you're waiting for this to come on eBay, you could shave that off and play around with this because you could go to the hardware store. So those also fit. This is high-speed steel. This is poorly sharpened. But I'm just learning how to sharpen things, so other than that, that's the build. Now what I like to do is, because you want to, against your palm, you can really push now with this thing if I wanted to. Okay, so special thanks goes out to Rick Alexander and Sean Hughes. They have tons of videos online on how to modify an air compressor in order to oscillate air. So I'm not going to be showing you that. I will be linking a video to the video that I used to do this, but I will tell you that I got this little pump. It was at Harbor Freight. It was like $40. There is this is 1/8 inch by 1/8 inch thread. This is 1/8 inch to 3/16, and it's 1/8 inch to 1/8 inch compression. So he's going to go through all that too. But there's a lot of videos on how to modify this, so no big deal. Also, the speed control is listed in the video, but this is what's running it. Every time I turn that on, I can now slow it down. Or speed it up. But if you run it straight from the compressor, it's not going to work. You're going to have to modify it so that it runs through this, which is a variable speed. The variable speed, it's a motor control to slow this pump down. This is running off 12 volts. Yeah, I'm going to leave it up to that video on how to modify all this, because I would have to seriously go out and buy all these again in order to show you how I modified it. But I did show you how to make a handpiece. So, nice, it's ugly tape. Gosh. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good one. If you want to get these little, just look under, this is 1/8 high-speed steel, and there is tons of video on how to sharpen these. I am no expert in sharpening these. This one does a really good job, but I totally eyeballed this. You can get jigs to make it a lot more professional, and as time goes on, I'll add to my collection. But for right now, I think I did a pretty good job sharpening that just for a total total noob. Enjoy.